Greetings, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. I didn't think I really needed an introduction because it seems like everybody in Maine has come up to me and said, well, you look like your mother, you laugh like your mother, you walk like your mother, you look like your mother, what else was it? Yeah, I sound like my mother. And I walk, yes, and and my teeth, that was the tops. So, anyway, obviously the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So, but she was a multi-talented lady, and her list of accomplishments were many. But the essence of Norma, as Dawn had also said, was that whatever she was involved in, she threw her whole heart into it, and she always strove for perfection. Whether it was in her artwork, her music as a drummer, percussionist, vocalist, her motorcycle riding, and her beloved red Trike, and camping at all the blues festivals and fairs throughout New England. As her band member Lou said, Norma lived 5 lives in 1 life. She absolutely did. So my mother and I had gone on a lot of road trips together over the years, and we had very good trips in Europe when I was living in Germany. And I thought we had taken our last road trip at the end of May when I came up to Maine to collect her to take her to Memorial Sloan Kettering on my way back to our farm and then back to Maine. But it really wasn't our last road trip. Our last journey was the one in hospice. I left Maine June 2nd, I came back July 2nd and went directly to hospice and stayed there with her continuously until she passed. Our journey was the most significant, memorable experience we ever had. The hospice staff was they were amazing, but they repeatedly said to me, no one has come through these doors like your mother in terms of being the strongest fighter ever. Ever. She was the strongest fighter. They said that to me the whole time I was there. They were amazed. She was there 4 weeks, and it was a long time for hospice. And so I'm going to recount, I want to share some of the memories there because they were really remarkable. I guess my glasses would help. That's why I can't see. All right, July 4th, on our first Saturday together. This was her first memorable day where she said she wanted to go and she was going to leave in 2 days. That would make it Monday. So, in hospice, when somebody says that, you have to take it seriously because they very well may decide to leave that day. So we were cautiously watching her and waiting to see what happened. But then early Sunday morning at 5 a.m., she wakes me up. She's all excited. She wants to have a dress rehearsal with her casket. So we had to put her shoes on. We had to dress her up. She laid out. She checked everything out. We went over the inventory. She was happy. She went back to sleep. I went back to sleep. And all was good with the world. Yes, I was a little shocked that morning at 5 in the morning. You don't want to do what? Yeah. So that was the start of the day. It got better. Later in the morning, my brother came, David, and I were sitting on each side of her bed. And she starts asking me probing questions about how to die. What should she expect? How should she do it? And only because I thoroughly read the hospice books, Final Gifts and Gone From My Sight, was I able to address her questions. So I said to her, you would be absolutely pain-free because you're on the medication. And you would slowly, your breathing would slow down. You'll go to sleep, you'll take your last breath, and you'll transition, you'll go on your journey to meet all your relatives and family and friends. So she said, well, okay, I can do that. So I asked David to please watch her while I've been trying to get to the hotel for 3 days, or to even get food. So I asked him, can I please go get some food, keep an eye on her? And she said, fine. So I went to Sea Dogs, and I was just finishing my lunch. I get a call from David, and he says, Mom says it's time. So I'm like, okay. So I'm panicked. So I start running back to the hospice, thinking, you know what? She said she was leaving on Monday, but she's always early to everything. So I was like, darn it. She fooled us. She's early. She's going today. But so we get there. Then David and I are sitting on each side, and we're really it's a very somber time. She is willing herself to die. She had slowed her breath down. Her breathing was erratic. It was shallow. We were looking at each other going, we really thought this was going to be the day. And it was also a significant day because her good friend Tracy had passed away that day 1 year ago. And oftentimes people, wait for these kinds of things. So we're anxiously waiting, for this to pass. And then suddenly, her band members, Lou and Reggie, come bursting in the door going, Norma, we have your newest CD with your vocals and your drumming. And she kind of rouses up and she goes, oh, hi. And then we have a party for the rest of the day. We had a lot of people in and out, and it was really a party. We played music and chatted, and the kids were there, and it was a great fun. It was, a good day. Then finally everyone left in the evening, and then another friend came, Brandy, and we had a lovely evening sharing stories about Mom. And I said, could you please watch her? I'm trying to get to the hotel. I really need a shower. So she said, sure. I'm almost at the hotel. My phone rings. It's Brandy. Your mom says it's time. I'm like, oh, okay. So this time I didn't know if she was crying wolf or she was really serious. But anyway, I hurried back. This time she just wanted me back there. So I said, okay. But what then happened through the night was, it was a rough night. Well, I take that back. Okay. Monday comes and goes. She's still with us. All right. That was the day she had predicted that she was going to leave. She was continuing to decline, but she was with us. In general, I had hoped that I had helped her reach closure, but I felt like there was something missing. We checked off her bill list and all the friends and the family and various things, and explained to her that she's going on a journey and so forth. But I realized that she needed to hear from her sister Donna. So that evening, Donna called and had a heartfelt talk with her. And as soon as Donna called, Mom burst into tears. And I realized that was the last piece of the puzzle. She could have closure at that point. That would allow her to go peacefully. So after they hung up, Mom starts telling me her eyes have been closed for quite some time. And so she was laying there, and I was next to her, and she said, she raised her hand up. She said, I see a pillar. And I see a pillar here, and I see a pillar there. It's like a pike here, and a pike there. And there's an opening in the middle. Is this where I'm supposed to go? And I said, yeah, Mom, that's where you're supposed to go. That's where you're going to go and meet all your family. And she's like, okay, that's where I'll go. So then after that, which was quite an experience, I started panicking and thought, God, she might pass tonight, and I wanted her to touch base with some more family. So then I'm calling Brenda and Lori and Rachel and Margot, and I kept saying, here, Mom, here's Lori, here's Brenda, here's Margot, here's Rachel. I was holding the phone to her ear, and then finally Carol from Alaska calls, and she's like, what, am I dying? So, and then after that, she quietly started drifting off to sleep, and as the stress left her face. She was so peaceful, and she just under her breath was going, yep, yep, yep. She was content. But we had a bad night that night, from early in the morning, from 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. She was at the restless stage of the transition, and she was trying to get up out of bed, and we were afraid she was going to fall. So by 4:30 in the morning, I said, the nurse has to come, and we have to change her medication, which they agreed, and they changed it later on Wednesday afternoon. In the meantime, her band members had organized to come and do a jam session Thursday evening. So they came, we withheld her Ativan for the 6 o'clock for an hour so that because the Ativan would really make her unconscious and go to sleep. So we wanted her to really hear the music and be able to know we're all there. So it was a wonderful evening of friendship and music. It was amazing. I posted the best video, a blues song that they did, Meet Me With Your Black Drawers On. And it's on my Facebook page, and it's just a celebration of friendship, music, and love, and it will make you laugh and dance, and it's a wonderful, Mom loved it. And they sang some songs of hers, And they said, they kind of apologized and said, oh, sorry, it doesn't sound as good as you, Norma. And she's like, But when I asked her, did she like the Meet Me With Your Black Drawers On, she's like, It was a great song. So if you get a chance to go to Facebook, please check it out. And also that day, on Tuesday, when they had brought that video, the CD of their newest music that they came bursting in the door, I played that 24/7 until Dago Funeral Home came together. And we listened to that 24/7. It's a wonderful CD. If anyone's interested in getting a copy, please see Reg and Low. But it's one of their best. They just got better and better as a group and became so cohesive. It was just wonderful. After the band left, she really went into a deep sleep. And she stayed that way the remainder of hospice. But she was truly at peace and pain-free for the first time in 9 years. And the hospice people say they can still hear. And so I encourage people to come and to call, and I hold the phone up, because they want to be comforted and hear your voice. And so people were doing that. On her last day, she was showing a significant decline. So I sent a text to David with an update in the morning, late morning, and he sent back that he was sorry he couldn't be there. And I text back, no worries, I'll give her a hug for you. So I went over to give her a hug, and I was giving her a hug. I said, this is a hug from David and I, and she took her last breath. So it was a wonderful last moment. It was wonderful. At one point during hospice, my mother looked at, she was mostly out of pain, but if she tried to shift weight or get out of bed, she was in a lot of pain. And so one of those moments we were trying to shift her around, she looked at me, she just looked at me piercingly and said, what did we learn from this? It's like, okay. So I said, well, Mom, through some tears, I said, you're an inspiration. That you fought, and you fought the good fight. And you're an inspiration to others. To fight and carry on, to enjoy all that life has to offer, to live to the utmost. And she did it all with humor. She kept her humor right to the end. She showed us that anything is possible. So we all love you, Mom. God bless and rock on.